All right, good evening. This is our Beginners Academy Zoom group, and our presenter tonight is Frank KC8VKA in Cleveland, Ohio. And take it away, Frank.
Hello, like Greg says, KC8VK here. And I just recently decided that I'm going to get the latest thing out there. And I like radar, I like QRP, but I also like having a good radio as a base to talk skip and to long distance. So I found out that this FT1X is a QRP radio, but it has the back part that you snap on, and it becomes a full-fledged 100-watt regular radio. And so it's when you buy the what they call it, the Maxima, it includes the 100-watt amplifier in the HF and 50 watts on UHF and VHF. It also includes a tuner. But what I have here today is just the FTX-1, the QRP version of it. And before I get into the radio here, I found out that the radio, yeah, it has a battery, and it's a 9 amp hour battery, which it snaps into the back, and it it drives the radio supposedly at 8 hours. I mean, a long time. When you're operating on the battery, you're limited to 6 watts. Now, if you get if you if, to charge the battery and to run the radio off of a power supply, you need um, what they like a computer plug. It's called a USB-C type plug, and those USB C, they're multiple voltages depending on what mechanism you hook it up to. And in this radio, it provides 10.5 volts, I believe. And but that'll charge the battery. Now you could plug it into the radio. It has a USB port there, but if you take the battery off, the battery has also a USB-C port. So you can use the charger for charging the battery or charging the battery while you're using the radio. But if you want the radio to work at a full 10 volts, I mean 10 watts, you need to get a source of power that's 3.8 or higher. Even 15 volts would be better. That way, it'll charge the battery, but it'll operate the radio at 10 watts. Now, that sort of puts me wondering. I'm going to have two power packs, a power pack USB port to charge the battery and run the radio on 10 and 5 watts, another one to provide the 13.5, or they want more than 13.5. They want maybe more like 15. So I'm saying, well, I just experimented with the USB port. I mean, power pack, and those are multiple voltages if you could find a way of making it put out 15 volts. So, what the power pack that I have is from an old computer, and it looks like this, and it says right on there, 5 volts, 10 volts, 12 volts, and 15 volts. It'll put out all of that, and it needs to put out about 4.2 amps. And this will do that on all the different voltages. I got this thing at Salvation Army. I got it for like $3, and it's got the USB C output there. Now this is what the radio needs. With this package and that, you'll charge the battery, run the radio, and it's exactly what the Yaesu recommends. And they don't provide this, but if you find one of these, grab it because that's what that thing needs. Now, The other thing I did is how am I going to get 15 volts? So I found out that they make this little tiny device here. Let me see if I could bring it in here. You see that? That's a little board that tells our power supply what to put out. And when you buy it, you jump out what you want it to put out.
Programmable.
So I jumped out 15 volts and I plug it in there. Now I got that thing putting out 15 volts, the same power supply that I was using to charge the batteries. Now I could use it to run the radio using this thing. See, there, like that. And these are really cheap. You can order them on Amazon. And then so what I did then, this is the power cord that it brings. And I always, if you're going to hook up a hundred, I mean, power supply, you recommend that you always put fuses on it because you don't want to reverse polarity, put reverse polarity in there. This is the jack and now this jack, let's see if I can get it to focus. It's bigger than the normal. So I had to find an adapter that will take the regular one that you use for the LDG tuner and it just plugs into it and then it converts it in. I mean the other one plugs into it and converts it to this. I called the X Engineering and they don't have these. Uh, so they're at the present time they're hard to get, but the X Engineering are going to buy them because the inside hole of that is bigger than normal. Now, what I did is I took the same wire and I took that little board and I put it on the end of the cable and then I shrink wrapped it. So now all I got to do is take that USB-C, plug it into here, and then I will have 15 volts on this end. So that's what I did to make this thing be more fun to use. Now, going over to the radio, the radio is just this inner part here, and it's pretty nice. The bottom here is the speakers. There's two speakers, one here, one there, and it shoots right out you, and it's got excellent audio. But this outer part is extra. You buy it from Yaesu, and it's not expensive, like 30 some dollars, but it makes it a big difference because then you can have it like this and carry it, and it protects the. See it? Just like it happened, it fell. That protected the knobs, and then turn it like this. Can you see that? Is it blurry?
It's good.
Okay. And there's the battery back here.
Yeah, Frank, we had a question. How many amp hours is the battery?
The amp hour battery, I believe.
It's 9.
I tell you what, let me snap it off here and we'll see
You
what.
told us it was 9.
Well,
Okay.
that I'm going to verify that. This snaps off like that. And then the battery is here. And let me see. I don't know. Can you read that?
No,
Well, let me see.
We didn't go to school. You read it for us.
Well, okay. Well, I told you wrong. It's six, six, 6.4 amp hours. Yeah, at at uh at, at 12 volts. But it's supposedly run the radio for 9 hours. Now I made this plate bottom, so I have something to hold the radio steady. And this is just aluminum, and then I put these things there so because when you push the buttons on it, it tends to slide away. So the bracket is not just a piece of metal I bent. And then the this guard that you buy has a knob on it, and that knob is made so you can put this thing on a tripod like a camera. It's got the standard 3/4, I mean, quarter inch 20 thing there. Well, that knob also helps to keep it on this bracket here. Okay, so now the other things that I use the radio with is this LDG tuner. And this LDG tuner works good with that. It has batteries in it. So when you use it, it's not going to draw current from the radio. So, but you have to get a plug. And the plug that you need is this. This is what it is. You get that from LDG, and it looks like this on the end, and then the other end is like this, and then this goes right into the radio. And what it does is when you hit tune on the tuner, it tells the radio to go into a carrier mode, regardless of what mode you're in, and the tuner tunes. And when the tuner is done tuning, then the radio goes back to whatever mode you had it. So that makes it good, makes it work, makes it pretty nice. Now you also need, since that radio has these type of connectors on it, it's best to make a bunch of little, maybe 2 foot lengths, so you'll have this on the other end. Or you can just get adapters. Because what's behind the radio here, for which is pretty cool, is this here. And you have this one here's without this without the adapter, and this with the adapter. Now the top one is for HF and the bottom one is UHF VHF. Sometimes I'll put a little antenna on here with a 90 and bring it out further so it doesn't, and I can just use it as a walkie-talkie with a rubber ducky on it. Now the other thing is these little ports down here, they have these little wimpy little buttons that you put on there. You lose these things right and left. So I put these little strings on them. These are like a real strong string. So I don't lose them. Because I mean, within an hour, I got this thing, that thing fell on the floor and I couldn't find it. So now I'm going to go back. We're going to use it in power, so we don't need the battery in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and hook it up. And so let's see here. Start by hooking this thing up here to the antenna. And this plug here, you have to remove this rubber cap here. And then these little things here, like I said, you lose them. So let them hang. They're going to hang there by string. And this goes in here, and that output, it's for controlling a tuner, but it's also to drive a linear. So this port will do a lot of different things. So you have to go in the menu and set it up. Now this other end is just going to go on the LDG tuner. And I just set that on top of the radio. So this one here goes into this port here. And this goes into the input of the tuner.
All right. So I take it there's not a built-in tuner in the radio.
No.
All right.
So I got an HF thing here. So this is my HF antenna, which goes out to my 50-foot vertical on the backyard. Okay. Then you take the power board that comes with the radio and you put it here. And then you take this thing, you have to plug it in. And you take it and you put it in the USB to that little chip that I had. Now we're all set to go. Come back around like this. All right, now we just turn on the radio here. Now, okay, so we got two volume controls because this is on, I got this one on the aircraft bands. So you see, you got to find out which one's making the volume because they're both at the same time. Now, if you want to see if there's any on here, you can receive at the same time as long as they're not both on the same band. So, like if it's on, if this is on HF and that's an HF, you can receive, but you can't transmit. But like if this one here, that's how you switch back and forth from one to the other. Now over here you'll see activity. I'm on HF. And then also if you want to switch that one, you change the scope and now the scope is displaying that one. You hit this one, now the scope is displaying this one. You see activity there? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this button here. And this is going to tune. Now I'm tuned. And then where's my pin? Anyway, if you take this here, wherever you see activity there, if you had a pin, I don't know what happened to it. You can just touch it, and it'll be there. I don't know what happened?
Owner. Incoming net control for this section of the Maritime Mobile Service Network. We have any stations on frequency with emergencies, medical, or priority traffic, over?
Now, you can hear how nice the volume it has. Now, if on that one there,
For stations with emergency, medical,
and this is displaying all the activity on that band. If you want to see the activity on that band, you hit this here, and now it's displaying that. Now, that's the aircraft bands. And if there's any aircraft, you can see it. But this is the volume for that side. So what if you want to,
Michael. Owner. Well, the primary purpose of the
you know, now this is one on HF, so it's not picking up. You could only
amateur radio call.
you could only receive at the same time if you're on different bands, you know, like if you're on HF or then you can't receive at the same time on two HF frequencies. Only if you're on UHF, VHF, or but you have to be on two separate bands. But if you go here and you if you can switch back and that'll take over, but you can't have both at the same time. It disables this side. Now, if we go here and take that back up to, I'm going to go to memory. You see, now you can also go to memory here. And there are the 6-meter band. And then if I go here to this other one, but still that's HF. So if I go to memory here, this puts you, this is, these are frequencies that I have punched in memory. If I go here and I go up to there, now I can receive on HF and 2 meters. See that? And so this thing, there's a lot to learn about it as far as you have to play with it, but that's basically the things that it does as far as receiving. The other one is the menus. There's so many menus on this. You hit this button here, and whatever, if you hit it and hold it, it brings up all these things here. And then whatever, if you just take this and rotate this, all this moves here, then you can pick whatever you want and you touch that. And then whatever you selected is up here. Then this thing has control of that. So like if you hit the button, now you're controlling the amp. I'm not going to get too much into this because that's you just have to play with it. But this radio does a lot, but they did a good job of separating it. So it's like in 3 categories. This here is when you're in the SSB mode. If you go here, then that's the CW mode. You hit it again, and that is in the FM and C4 FM. Before it was all bunched up together. Now I pretty much covered what I got to say. I can go into more detail if anybody has any specific questions.
Yeah, Frank,
Yeah,
is this a
John?
touch screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
you
that's
could,
great.
like here, there you can change that number.
Well, I noticed that when you pushed your menu button, you used the knob to select, but
Well, you can do it that way
touch it
too.
and select also, right?
Well, yeah, you could do it that way. You can hit
That's
this.
good. I like that.
See, you can hit this. And then you can just go like this. And you can keep going this and select it, but with the
Yeah.
buttons. But if you don't want that, you can just hit it, touch it with your finger. So anything, even if you want to change the frequency, or if you want to enter the frequency, you touch that, and you can just enter it.
Yeah.
And then all you gotta do is hit back. And up here, if you want to check your meter to display different things, you touch that, and you can have it display SWR compression. Same thing there. It acts like 2 separate radios as long as you're not on the same bands. I mean, not the same bands. It's the HF and UHF. Now, I'm going to try to see if you could do 2 meters and 440. Well, see, it'll allow you to be on 440 and 2 meters and monitor them separately at the same time. I didn't know that. So you could be monitoring 440 and 2 meters at the same time, be able to receive them both at the same time. Now there's buttons up here for quick access to everything. And another thing that I recommend is that this thing has 1,000 memories and all kinds of things are set on it. So if you get that RT system software, it's only like $25. It'll help a whole lot to be able to set this thing. Now this other thing too is if like I say once you get it all programmed and you want to once you get our program, and you don't want to be able to, you don't want to lose it. What you have, you go here, and you go to extended settings. You touch it with your finger, and then over here you see SD card. You touch SD card, and you can just save everything into the SD card, and you can actually do a total reset on this thing and wipe everything out. But then you can bring it back from the SD card. So you don't have to, if you screw up anything, just do a total reset. And you do a total reset by turning the power off and holding these down. Or you can do it two ways, by holding these down when you turn the power on, or you can just do it by touching this here, there, and you get choices. Wiping out the memory, wiping up the settings, or wiping everything all together. And then just hit back and back, and then you're back to where you're at. Pretty much the rest of it is you just have to get the manual out and play with it. It doesn't take a whole lot to figure out how to work it, but it does a lot. So you need actually the book is very thick. So that's about all I can cover at this time, unless anybody has any interest in anything else.
I do have a question. What's the approximate cost of what we're looking at here, which is the QRP part of the radio, right?
The radio goes for $14.99. It's quite pricey, but it's to me it's worth it. And then this bracket, the outside, it's a great thing to have. I would not have the radio without that, because if it wasn't for that handle, I'd have a hard time holding on that radio. That radio is just like a brick, and it's hard to hang on to it. So this bracket outside is only like 35 bucks.
Yeah.
But it comes with all kinds of screws to hold it in place, and it's really solid. It really protects that radio.
Did you have a hard time getting it?
The bracket?
Well, no, the radio in general.
They have them available. DX Engineering, HRO, all those they all have them. What they don't have available is the amp that goes on the back of this. They haven't sold enough radios to start selling the amp, but you can buy the radio with the amp already part of it. So if I want to get my hands on the amplifier,
no, I don't have control.
If I wanted to get a hands on the amplifier that goes with this, I need to sell this radio and then buy me one that comes with the amp already. Now I managed to get a good deal on this one because I got it through a company there that had a promotion on it to get people used to it. So I got it for a few bucks less. But I'm satisfied with it. There's a whole lot you could do with it. I played enough to know this much that I know so far. I'm gonna have to play a whole lot more to get deeper into it.
Well, does it do FT8 just by itself or anything like that? Any digital modes?
It has a mode just made up here. It has one button. You push one button, it throws into FT8 by itself automatically. It just goes into FT8 by hitting one button.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it. Somewhere's in there. So it is already equipped with FT8. It's already set up for it.
Well, I guess you would need a laptop to go with it. Is that right? Or
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
But as far as the software, I think that I'm not sure that I do know that it has a button that says FT8.
Okay.
What it does, I don't know. And it's a mode. So if I go into the mode here, Well, you got PSK. It isn't on here. It has a C4 FM. It has RIDI, PSK. Maybe if I go into the HF mode.
Greg, I think the answer is you did have to have a computer, but it's just like one USB cable
Yeah.
to connect it together.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Ken's right. It only requires the USB-C cable. That's it. There's probably some drivers that you can download from Yaesu. And they're constantly, since this is new, they've already had software upgrades. And I had to do a software upgrade on that in order for the RT system program to work with it. Now, if you want to buy, there's back in this little compartment here is where you can put the what is it, Bluetooth? Yeah, you can put a Bluetooth chip there,
Okay.
so you can do Bluetooth. I think that's only like $50.
Huh.
And then over here you can, and I already ordered it, a GPS. Now you can get the GPS from Yaesu and just plug it. It's just a little thing that you plug in here with an 1/8" banana plug, and it sits here, and it feeds the information for the GPS. It will show on here the screen and what direction and all that kind of stuff. And it'll do that. What's that called when they can follow you on a map through Google?
APRS
Yeah, it'll do
papers.
that. Yeah, it'll do that. The one I bought is less expensive, but I have to wait for it. You plug it in, but it has a head, and if you have it in a car, you can set the head like further up so that it can pick up better.
Yeah. Well,
And that's less expensive.
yeah. Well, let us see the microphone. Does it have a bunch of buttons on it, or is it just plain?
Well, to see the microphone, I'm gonna have to charge extra for that.
Oh, okay.
But I'll give you this.
Okay.
It has settings on it, and you can make that do all sorts of things. And then it has on top the typical up and down. And that could be for CW too, dots and dashes up there.
Hey, Frank.
Yeah.
Hey, does it have the button on the back of the mic for 1 and 2?
No, not this. This the tone this radio has menus where you can alter the tone. Yaesu has barometric parameters, and you can set them. There's a multitude of ways you can set the audio in here for both transmit and receive. It's pretty elaborate. And you can you have 3 adjustments for mid range, 3 adjustments for low range, and 3 adjustments for high range, and you can make that be more intense, and it's like a multitude of things, and you can play with it till you get it just right for both transmit and receive. It's called the parametric parameters. Another thing is that this will take. It isn't a special jack. This is a regular radio jack here. So you can put it's modular, but I could take this thing and put it on there. Because this has the cord of this for this mic. It has this on one end and this on the other end, and I could just flip-flop them. So if I take this and put on the mic, I can take this and connect that mic to that radio too. So I can have this, I can utilize this on that radio. So it's they made it more like a real radio, you know, where you don't have to have little bitty jacks and stuff. And the other thing is that when you're on HF mode, the antennas that are in the back, one is for UHF, one's for VHF, but on the menus, you can make them be antenna 2 and antenna 1 on HF, and you can select that through your menus too. So there's a whole lot of they gave that a lot of thought of what they put into this thing. So any more questions? Now this is a good. I mean, Yaesu sells a tuner for this, and it's like I don't know, $300-400. But you can get this thing here for under $200, and it has internal batteries. The other ones use the battery off the radio. This one here will it takes 8 AA batteries, and they'll last 2 years. And this won't put any load on the battery of the radio. And this thing will tune anything. And like if let's see, where am I at here? If I go to here. Now I don't hear anybody on the frequency, but I'm going to tune on 3.8. It tuned it. Just went click because it had it memorized.
Yeah. Well, will this work with that ATOS kind of
Yes.
sort of a screwdriver antenna?
It does. I have to clarify it. It may work on the ATAS if you have the back battery. I don't know. I haven't. I hope it would work with this, but I haven't read the book clear enough to really. I don't know if you can operate the ATAS off of this, because I don't know if this has enough power to drive it.
Oh, yeah.
But the ATAS definitely works on the other one with the body in the back. But the ATAS is great. This now it may or may not, because the ATAS doesn't draw a whole lot of current. But the one of the things about the ATAS is it's throwing a constant carrier as it's tuning. So you have to wait for that thing to drive up and down till it finds a good spot. Meanwhile, while the carrier is on. So that sucks up a lot of energy. And I doubt if they're going to do that with the battery. But you can buy a manual button to control the ATAS. And you can just run it up and down and just watch the SWR on here. I prefer that manual, because even the automatic mode, sometimes it doesn't get it completely like you like it. So you still have to you still have to tweak it a little bit. But I've made a little box that controls the ATAS, and all it is you feed 13 volts into it, and then you got a voltage regulator that steps it down to 8, and then you induce the 8 into the coax through I think it's 100 Henrys. It's a choke. I don't remember what the Henrys is, but anyway, what it does is it feeds 12 volts and it goes up, and if you feed 8 volts, it goes down, but it all goes through the coax. So I do control the ATAS with this radio, but it's a separate control and a separate battery. Not using the power from in here. And what I do is I run it up and down until I hear a stronger signal, and then I key up and then I adjust it with the SWR. But I don't leave it throw a carrier while it's going up and down and hunting. I move it up and down until I hear the loudest noise, and then I tweak it in with a carrier. That's one little problem I don't like about the ATAS that I have on my car. I have a FT891 in the ATAS I have attached to it, but sometimes it's lost. It doesn't lost itself. That goes all the way up and all the way back, until it finds where it wants to be. Meanwhile, it's throwing a carrier. The radio does have a built-in thing where it doesn't, if the SWR is not right, it cuts back on power. But meanwhile, it's just hunting up and down. It probably throws a 5-watt carrier, but the carrier is on while that thing is running up and down. I prefer to just get to where I gotta go by the sound and then to throw a little bit of carrier, just enough to get me down into zero with the SWR meter. But I plan to use the ACAS with this. But it'll be a
Okay.
separate, with a manual control and a separate battery.
Well, we appreciate you getting this radio and getting it set up and introducing it to us, Frank. So are there any additional questions about this Yaesu, what is it, FTX-1 for
Yep.
Frank?
Ain't she a beauty?
Yeah. Well, Yaesu is really being competitive, coming out with a different take on a QRP radio, and then
Yeah,
with the option of making it a 100-watt radio. So
yeah. So here, this here, I was just gonna see how that radio would look with this mic here.
yeah, it's a classic.
Hey, Frank, now you know what to get me for Christmas.
Well, I already know. I have to go. I'll have to gotta cause my buddy West Virginia that mine's cold and get you a chunk of coal to give you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting on.
All right.
Right.
Well, we're going to wrap it up, and we'll roll this out to YouTube. Add it to our library of videos that we've done on Beginners Academy, and we appreciate Frank, KC8VKA in Ohio, presenting tonight.
Thank you, Frank.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, John. Let's see.